Chapter 7. The Windmill, a Delivery, and Humble Pie. With Mark in tow, the group made their way to the windmill. Their windmill even. They planned to confront her regarding the children she stole back from them, after they stole them first. While trying to negotiate a payment or back pay rent with Morgan, she offers an alternative. "How's about you do me a favor, dearies?" Her voice sounding as though laughter is just around the corner. "Let's have a deal. I need this package delivered to Valikia. A small trifle. It needs to be delivered to a house I specify, and delivered underneath the bed of the owner. Importantly, it needs to be delivered without the owner knowing that you have done so." There was a glint in her eyes, and for just a moment, the old woman seemed vibrant and youthful, rather than matronly. "What do you say, my lovelies? You take the box where it needs to go, and when you come back, me and my daughters will pack up our belongings and make tracks out of here. We will even leave you all the pies we have made, since until we set up shop we won't have storage for these, and we certainly wouldn't want them to go to waste." She winked, an expression that seemed somewhat alien to her face, at Sarko. Debating, the group agreed that this seemed a simple enough task, and they get their windmill without violence. Dr. Edgar asked after the children, seeking to free them. He proposed that they come with the windmill. Morgan countered by offering 20 gold per child. They take the offer and the children with them, as well as the small box, back to Valikia. Arriving in town, having been made very clear as to the location of the home they were to deliver to, they took Mark to the church. Seeking some information, and to leave the children somewhere safe, they asked if Father Lucian can watch the children, to which he reluctantly agrees. They also ask if he knows who owns the house they are to make the delivery to. Of course, that is Ava's home. She runs the orphanage here in town. "Has for some time, no way," the father said. "Nothing," Celine responded. Lockhart and Liam decide they will come at the breaking and entering, while the others scout out the area and make sure they are clear to work. Celine and Puzzles attempt to distract two washerwomen in the alley behind the house with a drunk routine. It, however, did not seem to faze them one bit. Adapting to solve the job quickly, shape shifts into a wolf. Giving chase to the washerwomen, snapping and snarling and howling after them, he chases them through town while Celine and Puzzles run into the street screaming, "Wolf!" During the disturbance, the two rogues ply their trade in the home and deliver the small box beneath the bed as requested. Exiting the simple, humble home, they found Edgar. Celine and Puzzles are telling the guards they saw the wolf go that way, pointing toward the church. The deed was done. They just didn't understand what it was they had done exactly. Returning to the windmill, the light was beginning to wane. They finished helping Morgan pack her wagon, if only to speed her from this place. She did as she promised, and left them a hefty supply of pies in what was the shop array of the first floor. Sarko was excited by the sight, to say the least. He counted his pies, eating some, loving the scrumptious flavors, the flaky crusts, the savory meat. Celine screams from the attic. Using his telepathy, Sarko taps into her mind. She found a pile of stained children's clothes in the attic. He shares the message with everyone else, who are about their business, and goes back to counting his haul. They discuss the find, deciding that this was the proof they had been searching for. The stains looked to be blood. The pies must be made of children. They were not labor, they were ingredients. Horrified, they made to destroy the pies that had been left behind. Sarko, however, even knowing the truth, could not let that happen. He stole a cart laden with pies, and ran through the front door. He stuffed a number of pies into his jerkin while steering the cart through the front yard, with his friends in hot pursuit. Celine, having enough of the chase, used her telekinesis to lift the cart of pies from the ground, with Sarko still holding on. After being pulled down and bound, they opted to sleep the night in the windmill, Saka tied to the post in the center of the room to keep him from eating pies. The hope being that they can get him to quit cold turkey. They burn the remaining pies in the shop. The air still smouldering come morning. Releasing Saka, they make their way back toward Valiki, unsure of what they should do now. The day being new, and the sun bright for Barovia at least, they could see more clearly their land. Near the edge of the open field in which the windmill stood was a set of 3 plinths, made of some kind of marbled black stone. Taking their time to examine the stones, they felt like they were part of a bigger whole, a single thread in a wooden net. Just what that net was meant to catch or hold, they could not say. When nearly back to town, Oli and Celine smelt it, long before the others see it, the smell of burning flesh. Nearing the gate, they saw the pillar of smoke racing into the sky. A rock sat in their stomachs, certain they had delivered some kind of bomb to the orphanage owner. The gate guard flagged them down excitedly. "You missed it. You all did." They caught that nasty hag and put her to the torch. "What hag?" they asked, knowing the answer already. "Waver, the woman who kept the orphanage. Morning, Lord be praised. Those poor children. What awful things were they put through by that evil woman?" The guard was excited, and clearly proud of the work they had done. "How did you know?" This from Cooley. "No. Why, after that wolf ran rampant through town, the guard received a tip that Ava was a witch of some kind, and summoned the beast. And sure enough, when searching her home, the guard found a hag's eye, a wicked thing, stashed beneath her bed. That they proved it, and they set about the pyre immediately. That's what the barn said. Rushing through the gates, not wishing to hear more, they came upon town square, and their charge of stake amidst the crowd was presumably Ava. It was their fault. They brought the box for Morgantha, and delivered it as asked. Edgar had even turned into a wolf, giving just the perfect number of supernatural goings-on. Walking on a large platform near the still smouldering pyre, and large men clad in a red suit stepped up. "Good people, I know you are all concerned about what has happened here, but know that we have dealt with the head most harshly, as you can all see." His voice filling and tone, a country accent making words seem to drip from his mouth like molasses. Thanks to an anonymous tip and the fast diligent work of our excellent town guard, this fiend has been punished, and the children of the orphanage have been freed from this hag's tyranny. The crowd erupted into rancorous applause, seemingly thrilled by the events rather than repulsed. "No, I know," he began, using his hands and slowing speech to quiet the crowd, "that you are all worried about those poor children, and what fate will befall them at the orphanage. Thankfully, we are lucky enough that 3 fine citizens of Barovia, Morgantha the pie maker and her daughters, have offered to care for the nearly 30 children, and any others that, morning Lord forgive, should come to need their help." The crowd again cheered, and were he able, Edgar would have sworn his cheeks were flushed with blood and fury, were that still something his body could do anyway. He led them then to the orphanage, coolly relaying as much info as he could to them about hags and their covens. Most importantly, Cooley informed them as they marched through the streets, the coven needed to be 3. It was a number of powers, a sacred number. If just one of the hags died, assuming Morgantha and her daughters were the 3, then the coven would be broken, and their magic would diminish greatly. The skies, which had been darkening since they entered town, finally gave way to a torrent of rain. They pushed the door open and went into the darkened foyer. This was their fault, and they would be dealing with this evil themselves. Missing children posters line the walls of the main hallway. They can smell the cooking fire from the large door at the end of the hall, and upon entry they understand the full scope of what they had done. The walls were lined with cages, and in those cages were children, 29 of them. The 30th child was suspended over a large cook pot in the middle of the room. The contents of the pot were bubbling sickly. The hags had turned this place of refuge into some kind of twisted kitchen, a larder for the still living children, a macabre display that was sure to haunt their dreams. Well, hello there, dearies. I see you figured it out quickly enough. You know, I think we can make this beneficial for us both. How about it, dear? She cut off as the hags were rushed by Edgar. No, a cricket. They went for Morgan the First, thinking to topple the ringleader. Coolly cursing the creature, Celine's blade flaying forth to strike at her mind's behest, the wicked aim of a young Lockhart, driving arrows home into the pallid flesh of the hideous creature. Zarko unleashing a pulsating light, causing wounds to seal with each pulse. Pazuzu unleashing chaotic arcana and inspiring his chords to strike true. The hags unleashed a barrage of magical attacks, one causing Celine to see the visage of a proctor from school. Twisted and wrong the way she sees her failure in nightmares, the creature assailed her with withering blows from a yardstick. She was the only one who could see the false shade. While initially on the back foot due to the surprise onslaught, the hag slowly began to push back, that is until Morgan fell. Then the oldest daughter fell to the adventure's withering blows. Ophelia, the youngest daughter, in a last-ditch effort released a final bolt of lightning. Pazuzu fell, hard, a smoking hole through his torso. Clutching what was his gut, he fell to his knees, then the floor, a single drumstick rolling along the floor, coming to a stop next to the cauldron. Ophelia was struck down just after the coven finally failed. In a whirlwind they split up to care for the children and try to resurrect Pazuzu. Zarko and Edgar beseeched Selûne for help. The goddess, however, remained silent. The godfather Lucian was unable to help in this task, saying he never condoned bringing the dead back, not in this place. Leaving Pazuzu to the father to prepare the body for rest beneath the sepulchre. It was there, beneath the church, in the black still air where Pazuzu sat waiting for the father to tend to his body and prepare it. We are souls, you see, and those are valuable things to the right creatures. In the void the soul of Pazuzu drifted, listless, trapped, unable to reach the wheel and join the cycle of rebirth. He felt fear. This felt wrong. Is this part of Barovia? Being unable to leave even in death. He had done the right things, hadn't he? Didn't he deserve absolution? He felt trying to save those children in the damned town. You deserve to live, don't you? A voice that sounded like wasps. The tone, its voice buzzing with each syllable. I can bring you back. Give you freedom from death. You can join them again. But wait, he thought at the thing in the void. I have helped one of your friends already, the doctor. I will offer you the same deal as he. One life for your return. Someone you have touched personally here in Barovia. That sickening whirring voice, buzzing in the void. What happens if I give you a name? He thought at it again. He would swear hearing the way the voice warbled and hummed he had ghost flesh. But he had no flesh, no. I take them. What else? I also give you back your body just as it is. No. They're beneath the church. Did you know they meant to bury you there? You will be stuck in this void forever, unless you go back. Just to take, and I take care of everything else. You will have sold that which you didn't need to me, and I will have given you back to you your failing flesh to walk with your friends again. The droning and shifting pitch of the thing's voice was growing more sinister still. In gloom of the void, a sickly yellowish who seemed to tint everything and nothing. Donovich, Gods forgive me. The laughter was deafening. That night beneath the church, with no one around to see it, the crypt filled with an alien light, not quite yellow, to warm you, but not one you can readily identify. The yellow amber light flooded Pazuzu's corpse, and a sigil burning into his abdomen, where the killing blow had struck. The sigil, the same sickly yellow amber. He opened his eyes, panicked and afraid, trying to draw breath and realizing he couldn't, and no longer needed to. Where am I? Who am I? He saw the drum fall from his chest, and Ben dully on the ground. Was this his